So why Australia? Why do you consider it as an option? What makes it an interesting and an attractive option for you? So when you're looking at Australia as an option, the universities that you are looking at over there have prestigious global reputation. I'll be touching on the rankings a little later on, but it truly is one of those things where the universities you go to are going to be recognized across the world. So there is not going to be one of those things where you're missing out or you're compromising by going to an Australian university. You're able to use your degree in Canada, in Australia, and the US. And in very many ways, the biggest reason a lot of students look at opportunities abroad is because of the fact that there are limited places in Canadian universities. So having that option of Australia, which is a little more accessible in grades, you are able to come back to Canada, you are able to stay in Australia. It really does make it a really good option for you to be considering. Australian universities, they really boast the idea of being student support first, hands-on approach. They very much do pay a lot of detail into the classes that they teach, and they like to say that that hands-on approach is a discipline throughout the degree that you are pursuing. And then to look at it in a light-hearted manner, their beautiful climate, beaches, and cities are truly one of the main reasons a lot of people consider studying in Australia. If you're an adventurous, outdoorsy person, this is truly the place for you, that's for sure. But don't get me wrong, there are going to be cities that are for those city folks as well that like to be between the concrete jungle as well. So in a lot of ways, it's got the best of everything, and it truly is a good option for you to be considering. A stat that I always tell students is that Brisbane, which hosts some of our top universities, has 300 days of sunshine. So it really does show you how beautiful and how nice the weather can be compared to us that are about to be entering the winter very soon. So let's get into the nitty-gritty of medical degrees in Australia and what exactly does that look like. So to start off, I'm going to be showing you all the universities here on a map because I think it's important to realize that Australia as a country is quite large, and each geographical location has something specific to it. And that's exactly like how I mentioned, Brisbane has that 300 days of sunshine. So, in a lot of ways, each of these universities are truly based on your personality of choice. So, if you feel that you would resonate better at Perth, that is more for you, and we would help you apply to Western Australia or Notre Dame. And that is truly one of the reasons why when you're chatting with our student advisors like Laura and Em, they're really going to make sure that the universities match you and you aren't just applying to any random university. So that these are the different universities that you are able to apply to. We've got four in a lot of ways, most of them are they're going to be graduate and undergraduate entry programs. So you can see the different ones that you can apply to and how they spread across Australia. Some of the big ones that you can see are University of Melbourne, University of Queensland, and we've got University of Western Australia as well. But in a lot of ways, the best thing about this is each university has a unique aspect to it, and we hope that you really do the research on understanding each university's selling point and what makes them unique in that being bettering your choices of where you end up applying. So that's a bit about the partners and who we have. When we're looking at the graduate intake, so to clarify, the graduate intake is for students that have a completed undergraduate degree and they are ready to go on to the MD program. So in the 2024 intake, these are some fast facts that we had. We had submitted 549 students, students who had submitted apps, and then out of that, 370 students received offers. When you look at the competitive stats, competitive means that this isn't the minimum GPA that the universities are stating, but we at OzTREKK like to set competitive stats or requirements that would get you into the program. So if you are at a 503 competitively for the MCAT, you are in a good standing, potentially be able to be at that average score that students are submitting. A 3.4 out of a 4.0 scale keeps you at a competitive GPA as well. And then for undergrad, typically these are students applying straight from high school. So essentially, you are applying with a high school degree or there are two universities that can possibly offer you a partially completed undergraduate degree entrance. So you can apply in your first or second year of your undergrad if you're ready to kind of take that plunge and start your medical degree immediately. So we had 122 students who submitted apps in 2024 and 60 received offers. The prerequisites that got these students in were English, math, and chemistry. And the competitive GPA that we've been seeing students get in with are mid 90s. But for 2024, it was a 93% average GPA average. So in a lot of ways, it is a little more competitive getting in through the undergrad program, but that is also because you're not going to be doing the MCAT. You've not completed that undergraduate degree. So they want to make sure that you are a star student that's ready to take on the program.